You're too young to remember what the Undercity was before it became an enterprise. We had nothing. You know what bore us through those times? Loyalty. Brothers and sisters back to back against whatever the world threw at us. Now I'm forced to share the air with parasites like you, who leech off their legacies.
Today is the day you die, Silco.
That's a risk I've known all my life. But I still believe in loyalty.
With no doubt, one of my favorite shows of last year was Arcane. The visuals, the characterization, the depth and the music, all of it was nothing but peak fiction. And trust me, that is a phrase I use very lightly. But within the heavy list of memorable characters in Arcane, Jinx, the boy savior, Vi, Ambessa, Mel, and everybody's favorite, Maddie, there wasn't a single character more intriguing to me at least than the one, the only Sevika. And with Arcane wrapped up, I was surprised with the utter lack of Sevika talk, so I thought I should take it into my own hands and resolve the problem. So come with me as I yap about our favorite one-armed brute, Sevika, the Herald of the Undercity. Hello to everybody who's new. My name is LeroyOfTheNorth, or the Spartan Samurai if you know me from my Insta, and I will hopefully be your guide for a video essay related to any form of media content, whether it be a comic, an anime, a manhwa, or that one show that everybody has seemed to have forgotten about. I will try and cover it in a hopefully calm and concise manner. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, a like, a comment, or hitting that subscribe button is always highly appreciated over here. And today we will be talking about one of my favorite characters in all of animated fiction, Sevika, and how she seemingly went from a non-important character to a priority overnight. But with all that out of the way, let's get back to my usually scheduled yap. The right hand of Silco, the scary lady, the enforcer of Zorn. These are all nicknames or titles that refer to Sevika through her actions in the series, and honestly, they have been given rightfully so. At first, Sevika might seem like the classic muscle character, the brooding enforcer who handles the dirty work of Silco, but there's so much more to her than what is shown at the surface. She is a seasoned denizen of the Undercity, experienced it in its rawest form, and understands the power dynamics of it better than almost anyone shown to us. Unlike Jinx, she is not blinded by chaos and trauma, and unlike Silco, she's not fueled by a sense of rebellion. Sevika is practical, shaped by years of surviving in a city that continues to take until there is nothing left. And that's why I think I've always observed Sevika through a metaphorical lens. Since season 1, her goals always felt so devoid of character. This is in no discredit to her or anything. All I am trying to say is that compared to characters like Vanda, Powder, Jace, Silco and more, I couldn't really get a grasp of what she was truly trying to intend with the power that she had accumulated as someone who worked with Silco and was recognized by not only him, but the whole of the lanes. Of course, Sevika had many key moments in season 1, from her sacrificing her arm for Silco, her standing up to Vanda, being Vi's main opponent in her fights to get Jinx back, but she never really had or felt like there was a goal to her actions. Rather, she felt more like a tool to be used. It is not until season 2 that I think we are truly given the role that Sevika was meant to play, and honestly, I think it may be the best initiated character development we saw throughout that part of the show. The perfection of Sevika's character was honestly one of my favourite factors of Season 2, and the route they took is honestly the most natural way I've seen a character being put into the limelight. By solidifying Sevika as the true voice of the Undercity, it really gave her more substance and more purpose to her character. And especially with Silco gone and the Undercity being thrown into turmoil, we can really see Sevika's character rise from what I initially thought was nothing but a lackey. We see people fighting over territories, placements, and their own security, all in an effort to fill the power vacuum left by Silco. But instead of scrambling for control or vying for power, Sevika positions herself as the bridge between the fractured factions of the Undercity and acts almost like a mediator. She knows she's not the visionary like Silco or the leader like Vanda, and she doesn't really try to be. That's what makes her character so interesting to me. Her decisions, her interest, her every move is to attempt to put the Undercity as a whole in a better position. In this way, she reminds me of characters like Merlin from Tales of Arcadia, Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, and Ubuyashiki from Demon Slayers. They are all characters who have seen the bigger picture for their respective realms and put themselves in places of informants to better their respective places when they most likely could have stolen power for themselves. And this defining trait embodies Sevika to a T, and it's shown through many scenes, one of my favorites being her choice to shield Jinx. Sevika, out of anyone in the Arcane cast, probably has the most reason to hate Jinx. She ridiculed her at every turn, she killed Silco, and in basically a single night undid everything that she had spent her life building. But she doesn't, not only because of her understanding of the power dynamics between the lanes and Piltover, but she understands that ratting out on her own people is not the way to implement the change that is needed, or in Sevika's own words,
"We don't hand over our people."
And that's why she understands that Jinx, while volatile and destructive, is a symbol of Silco's legacy, and in a way I believe she sees herself in Jinx, especially when they have their little heart-to-heart. So when they finally have had their talk, I think Sevika recognizes that selling her out would be a betrayal of not only Jinx, but everything she stands for as a character. So Sevika chooses the option of staying to her own principles and not selling out, and it comes out as a rewarding outcome for her when she not only saves Jinx, but gets a fancy new puncher along suit. Flash forward to Act 2. Sevika has now seen the impact of Jinx and what she can do for the Undercity, and when she goes to confront Jinx to help her, she rejects. Most characters in the series would try and guilt trip Jinx into helping her, or force Jinx by using their relationship as a tool. But what Sevika does is she respects Jinx. Though a bit abrasive in her plea to Jinx, she expels what her desire is with the rallying of the Undercity, and when Jinx claims that she's not interested, she leaves Jinx alone to try herself. This scene, though minor in the show, is an integral one I see not only to Jinx's character but to Sevika's. It shows that Sevika not only respects the boundaries of people she works with, but she is determined and she doesn't give up. She does everything possible for the goal that she is pursuing. So when Jinx and Sevika's intentions do cross, The situation feels more natural than team-ups we see from other characters where they're only looking out for their own self-interests. It all comes to a climax when Jinx and Sevika do end up freeing Isha and the rest of the Zornites out of jail. And when this happens, we get to see the famous scene with Jinx where everybody puts their hands on her, representing their faith. But in that same scene, we are shown how they quote-unquote treat Sevika, the same person who organized the rally to unite the lanes, the same person who is most worthy of their praise, because realistically speaking, if Isha wasn't there, Jinx wouldn't have been there either. The same person who is risking her life to make sure that they're free gets brushed aside. But never once does she try and take any form of glory from Jinx. Never once does she try and get people to acknowledge her. All she does is realize the work she has done. And I think that is the epitome of her character. She is a herald, never a ruler, king or queen, never a lackey to be brushed aside. She is a herald. She is the one that endures to ensure that change that will help not only her but the rest of the lanes happens. She's the one that survives, not for herself's sake, but for her ambitions. And that's why she is the best character of Arcane in my eyes. And I'm really glad that she got that seat at the council. But that's just my perspective. I know there are a lot of people who have their own characters as their favorite, and I would really like to hear those in the comments below. But until then...
Now listen to me, boys! Always remember these words. Work hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty. That is the Turtle Hermit way. We must master the art of peace in addition to the art of war.
Once again, I just want to say thank you guys for basically 500 subscribers. I know I've been very inconsistent and I do apologize. The mixture of me being a BTech student, transitioning to college, the combination of a side job and the amount of editing and scripting I have to do for these type of videos is very taxing, and I know that's not really of an excuse for someone who's doing this on their own free time, but that's all I really have for you guys. I just want to say I'm very thankful for everybody who has been helping me through this relative journey. Especially big thanks to my friend Beans, who does most of the beats here. Without him, I really don't know how I'd fill the gap between my voice and everything else that's happening in the video. So big props to him. Go check out his channel. I know a lot of you guys want to see more Hajime no Ippo content, and trust me, that is happening. I have just basically finished the script for the Mashiba video that I was gonna do. With this fight in the manga just wrapping up, I think there's no better time for me to post it than probably next week, Thursday, from when you're hearing this. But really, thank you guys so much for using your free time to watch this video for however long you used to watch it. Peace out. Hope to see you guys again. Thank you.